start us off? Start with Chris right here in the front.
Pressure-wise, you guys were able to produce a good bit against Alabama. Why do you think on Friday night it wasn't similar for you guys up front?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, going back and looking at the film, is a lot of times, you know, they're in rhythm, getting the ball out. You know what I mean? They're five out there. They're adding guys into the box, creating long edges, things like that. So, you know, you just gotta continue to try to mix it up and figure out a mismatch in there that you want to go. You know, we started bringing the DBs off the edge when we saw that, and it hit home a couple times, and then, you know, a couple other times we just missed them. So that was a good group. You know, they were very coordinated in what they did. They hadn't given up a sack all year, and you know, we got a couple, should have had a couple more, but just need to put the guys in a better position to be able to get back there.
Ira?
Some of the discipline things are wrapping up and things like that. Is that just kind of heat of the moment as the game's kind of going on, or, you know, are you surprised by that?
Yeah, that's the thing that I'd probably say I'm the most disappointed about is not finishing those plays. You know, there's a ton of times where we're hitting the ball at, you know, 3 and 4 yards, and it's gaining, it's falling forward for 4 or 5 and 6, which again adds onto the downs. You know what I mean? And so that part I think is probably the most disappointing part, and that goes back to, you know, maybe didn't emphasize it enough in the week, didn't put them in those positions enough. You know what I mean? The finish part. I mean, there's so many plays where you talk about finish, right? I mean, there's, I don't know how many tackles that turn what could be a 3rd and 7 or 8 to a 3rd and 3 or 4. I mean, that's a big difference right there. You know what I mean? You talk about the interception from Jerry. You know what I mean? You talk about just 1 or 2 yards in alignment, denies a break finish technique. You talk about the overtime, he scrambles out. We call a blitz, it flushes him. You know, the defensive end gets grabbed a little bit. He bows out of there, and you talk about Ed being maybe a foot away from sealing the game right there. So the point of emphasis of finishing is something that clearly didn't do a good enough job last week. And the young men, you know, you present it to them and you show them the exact examples of what we mean by that, and they'll get it fixed.
From kind of following up on that, from just a physicality and you guys have shown that on tape that that's what this defense can be. Was that to your liking or to your standard on Friday? No, I mean, they rushed for 200 yards. That's not, you know, that's not going to cut it. Now they didn't bust one. I mean, the one that did their longest run of the night was, I think, that 26-yarder, and we hit it at 3 or 4 yard gain. Another great example, right? I mean, we run up there and we hit it right before in the 2-minute drill. We hit it at a 3 yard gain, and we don't finish the play. Like we don't come off of blocks to finish the play. Earl goes in there and dominant contacts the guy, but again, really good running back. You know, he kept his feet. There's a pile there, so it kind of kept him up, and he squirts out of there for 26. You know, and then obviously the quarterback getting out of there, you know, having a chance to the other couple big runs in there with a quarterback. But it was those ones again that are going for, you're hitting them at 3 and 4, but they're bleeding for 5, 6, 7 yards. That's where the game was. That's where the game was turned. You know, and then looking back at it, the second downs. I mean, we start coming after them and creating a lot of. We had them in second and long a ton, but they were converting on easy little throws, like, you know, not letting us pass rush them. You know, they were running quick game, throwing a 5 yard ball that was going for 11. You know, things like that. So just way too many little errors. Again, got to go back through and just adjust during the week. Make sure that we get that shirt up, because we're going to see that again.
Liam?
I know he's on the other side as well, but Tommy said that he thinks maybe the team needed kind of a wake-up call with that loss. 1, did you kind of feel the same way after that game? And 2, how have you seen these guys in about 48 hours respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, adversity is good, right? I mean, it's gonna reveal those kind of things, and you know, you always take something away to build upon the next week. That place was rocking. I mean, like I stood up here last week and said, hey, they're the number 5 offense in the country for a reason now. Like, you look at their roster, especially on offense, and Coach pointed it out, they were all graduates or they're all seniors. So you got an old veteran team, you got a veteran quarterback back there, you got really good staff, and they were humming, they were confident, right? The men were one play away. Like I said, the one play away was everywhere for those guys to be on the road and to be able to go down 14 and pull it back together, and right before half, we're up by 7 with the ball. If we get a stop there, we get the ball back, and who knows how the game goes. So, I don't want to turn it into woulda, coulda, shoulda, like we got our butts kicked 200 yards rushing and stuff. But there's something there. There's something there with the guys. You know what I mean? There's something there that's like, hey, we're not gonna fold up. We got to find a way. And guys found a way. Ed found a way to get an interception. I thought Jabril played his tail off. That's probably the best I've ever seen him play. He played his tail off. You know what I mean? You had guys, D-Jack, play his tail off to get us back in the situation where we just need one play to win the game. So we're gonna build off of that damn thing to try to make a run here and get the season to end the right way.
Chris?
What does Miami present offensively that can be most challenging?
Yeah, they're very similar, right? Their offensive line is massive. Their backs are really powerful, and they're confident downhill football. The quarterback, they protect him at all costs. He doesn't get hit very much. He doesn't make bad reads. And then their receiving core, I think they're starting to settle in with what they do, and they're gaining confidence, and one-handed catches, and the freshman over there, number 10, is running around, and he's embracing his role. So they're just a confident football team that is big, physical, downhill at you. So it'll be a great challenge in one of football's best rivalries.
Brett?
On the drive, I think it was 11 rushes that they had.
Yeah.
Was a total, yeah.
I think right out of halftime.
Right after
Yep.
was that like the physical contact stuff to why they were able to run the ball? Was that not setting the line of scrimmage the way you guys were? I guess what was the common theme?
Yeah, it was the little things like misalignments, misassignments. Guys just lining in the wrong gap. Some of the run fits that way. Again, some of the runs on that, especially on that drive. Again, you talk about just kind of bleeding instead of being 2, 3, 4 yard gains. They're 5, 6, 7 yard gains, getting into seconds and shorts and stuff like that. Third and shorts, and then they're converting. You know what I mean? So it's, again, you got to come back. You got to give them credit, number one, but number two, it comes back to me putting the guys in a position to understand what they're going to get, and then put them in that situation all throughout the week, so that way when this shows up, they know how to respond. They know how to get it done. I didn't do a good enough job of that.
Coach, when we see the defense going against a mobile quarterback last week, but now going against Carson Beck, who's more of a pure passer, like how do you game plan that, or especially within the back end of defense when you're preparing for a pocket passer?
Yeah, that's more. And he can get out if he wants to. They protect him. You know what I mean? So he doesn't really have to get out. He can get out when he wants to. But again, that's more indicative of the timing on offense, right? They're not going to let you hit them. The receivers are getting open. They're protecting them. Receivers are running the routes. They're getting open. They know where they want to go with the ball. They're very precise in what they do. So again, this is like a cerebral thing back there with him. Like he's a really, really good quarterback, man. Like he'll look you off. He'll be looking to the left and understand that, hey, there's one guy's one-on-one, and he'll throw the backside dig off the hitch. He's one of the top quarterbacks in college football. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a challenge, right? Pre-snap, post-snap shells and different coverages, and we got to hit them. We got to try to get back there some kind of way.
Ira?
A lot of times when we're watching, we don't know the play calls, we don't know what's drawn up. But if you see an end crash and the run spell out, like people assume it's the end's fault. Like how often is that the case, or how often is it not the case necessarily?
It's usually if it's coordinated like that, the end crashes, then there's somebody supposed to be out there. Like I think there was a play where the end crashed and the guy looped, but the tackle blocked him and the quarterback ran out there. Well, we were misaligned, so the guy who blocked the end, there's a guy assigned to him, so he's should be standing right where the quarterback is running. You know what I mean? So you have a guy to account for him if that guy blocks. but we were misaligned. So, you see in a lot of little things like that, you know, you see a lot of little things like that, in that game that cost you. And like I said, you can get away with that with teams you're better than, but you ain't gonna get away with it playing championship level football, you know, and again, they're one of the most explosive offenses in the country, and you know, we didn't tighten that up enough to where we were in positions to make those plays.
Chris?
We saw Ashland Barker go out in that game, not trying to get an injury update out of you, but with him, how different is the defense with him versus when he's not available?
Yeah, I mean, he had early on, I mean, he had a sack, we were blitzing him down in there. I mean, he's a physical presence, you know, he's very calming. And so when he got banged up, I mean, there's a little bit of a drop off, but you know, that's why you guys prepare, right? And that's why you prepare the next man up. And part of that too, you know, you look at the rep count, and guys probably played the most snaps that they played in a long time. You know what I mean? So we gotta do better on our rotations and things like that to keep guys fresh for games that go into double overtime or need just one more play that you're not worn down to where you can make those plays. So a lot of collective things that all start with me. And you know, when the young men play well and the process works, it is 100% credit to them. And when you see the little confusions or the misalignments or things like that, I did not do those things to get them right. So that starts with me.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Hey, guys.
Appreciate it.